Well, a couple of things to start your week. It's Tuesday. We're going to talk about OPEC Plus, what their decision late last week means, and of course, the Carney-Trump meeting that just took place. You're probably going to hear dog barking outside, and you're definitely going to hear the jingling of a kitten's new collar. So I apologize for that. OPEC Plus first. So they announced that they were going to boost oil output. Now, that sounds good because gas prices will go down, but it's really bad news for Canada and America. It's even more concerning about who OPEC Plus is. Now, OPEC Plus is the world's worst regimes. Like, everybody is against these regimes. No decent person is like, those are some good guys. So who are the main guys? Saudi Arabia, and we know about them and human rights and how democratic they are. Russia, Iran, Venezuela. None of these are the good guys. Like, they're all bad guys. They're all authoritarian, they're all tightly controlled societies, and they control 40% of global oil supply. Their decisions make or break what oil prices are in the West. So when they boost their output, it actually hurts Canada and America. Excuse me. So lower global oil prices and Canada's oil sands and the U.S. shale have higher production costs than these non-democratic, non-unionized, non-health and safety countries, right? So the lower prices undercut North American oil, and that puts jobs at risk, that puts investment at risk, and it reduces government revenues because both countries make a lot off of getting that out of the ground. So in the short term, it looks like really good news. Prices are going to be down at the pumps. And they're going to be down in May as to how the futures closed last month. And as of right now, they look like they might be down in June. But I'll get back to that in a minute. So the long-term damage is that the North American, the entire kit and caboodle energy sector gets trampled on. So at some point, we have to ask ourselves if this helps Trump or if this hurts Trump. Because here's the thing. Although America will be losing money, and Canada for that matter as well, a lot of both of our countries' inflation numbers come from that price at the pump. So as he is tariffing everybody and their neighbor, those tariffs are going to cause inflation to go up. And it just so happens that as those numbers are going up, the prices at the pumps are falling. So we really have to, ask ourselves, is OPEC Plus his friend doing him a solid, or are they the bad guy for him too? And that's really an interesting question when you look at it and you look at everything else that it plays with, his sentiment towards Qatar, his sentiment towards Russia, Venezuela, everybody, and how this is now coming about because every other president would be shitting bricks over this. So it's interesting that it benefits him. That's all. But more importantly, this highlights why Canada needs energy independence. Because Canadian oil, if we could refine it and get it out of the ground and get it to Canadian consumers, all on our own, all in our own country, we wouldn't be able to be bullied like this. We would have price stability. We would have job security for Canadians in the oil patch. We would have guaranteed revenue for our country. You can come at me as much as you want about EVs are the future. EVs may very well be the future. Something else completely different could be the future. The future isn't now. Right now, we need oil and we need gas. And as long as we do, I will always believe that Canadian oil and gas is the best in the world because we have safety standards, because we have environmental standards, because we have, EI and workplace standards, because we have pay standards, because we have unions. Canadian oil and gas is by and far the best oil and gas there is in the world. And I don't care how many people come at me and say the oil sands are so much harder to, I don't care. I don't care that they're harder to extract from. I really don't. Energy independence, economic stability, national security, and reducing our vulnerability to authoritarian regimes. I'm having an issue tonight, aren't I? Is why we need Canadian oil and gas to be the number one oil and gas in the world. Full stop. You let me know in the comments if you think I'm right or wrong, but no one's convincing me otherwise on this one. So Carney and Trump just met, and I watched the whole thing twice so that I didn't miss anything. First things first, can somebody take Donald Trump aside and explain to him how the tariffs work? They are not foreign nations coming and shopping. They are a tax on American importers and thereby American consumers. Like, I can't believe that we still 100 days into this mess, he doesn't understand how the tariffs work. Wayne Gretzky is Canadian. Alexander Ovechkin is not. Jesus Christ. Why did he even bring Ovi up? Was he just like, hockey? Okay, Ovechkin. Like, maybe that's it. And I can give him a pass on that because we can't expect him to know about hockey and everything else that he already doesn't know about. The 51st State stuff, and I may lose some subscribers at this point. Throughout this, like, be forewarned, I'm not happy about Carney or Trump in this. So if you've watched this far, brace yourself. Massive tax cut, beautiful marriage. None of us want it. And if you do, you probably already live in America or are making plans to live in America, right? We all know by now, I hope, that America does not subsidize Canada. It turns out that it's a trade deficit. And when you work out our population size versus theirs, we actually spend more per capita buying things from America than America buys from us. So even on the border, on the security aspect, like, I understand that we don't secure our borders very well or much. I understand that we don't have a huge military presence, everywhere on all of our coasts. However, if someone were coming to attack North America, they aren't coming to attack Canada. America, and like, Trump sort of got around to it. Like, of course we're always going to protect them. Yeah, because it isn't protecting us. It's protecting America. So it's sort of like, we should spend more. Yes, 100%. We should do more, 100%. Yeah. But also, you can't pretend that you're just going to leave it up to us, because if somebody gets us, they've gotten you. So, whatever. NAFTA was the worst deal ever. And I'm sure some, like, old Republicans are, like, infuriated and whatever. A couple of weeks ago, Uzmaka was the worst deal ever until somebody told him that he was the one who negotiated it. He warned Canadian auto and steel sectors would collapse under the tariffs. I honestly start to think that he thinks that we're landlocked. I don't know that he knows that we aren't landlocked. Like, I think that he thinks that Alaska is on the entire western coast, and Maine has taken up the entire eastern coast. Like, when he speaks, he really, I'm going to say he believes that Canada has no other options. So I don't know. He claims that tariffs are bringing $10 trillion into the US, but like, whatever. Have fun with your federal sales tax, because that's what it is. And then I want to talk about Mark Carney now. Mark Carney has the same wonderful poker face as Georgia Maloney in that he doesn't have one. So he visibly reacted 3 times to Trump, and it was at interesting parts. So the first part was Trump said that something along the lines of Canada wanting to buy military equipment from America, and Carney made a face. And then Carney made the same face when Trump was talking about how nasty Chrystia Freeland is. So that tells me we're not going to be buying the fighter jets from them. So that's pretty much a done deal, in my opinion, based on his face, and that he made the same face when he was going on about Chrystia Freeland. And then he made the same face again, not about the automotive industry, but the steel tariffs. So we may be in actual trouble where the steel tariffs are concerned, because those were the only 3 instances that he made that face. He did a good job. He was not. He didn't interject as much, but the press really didn't give him a chance, and you really have to be verbose to get that word out against Trump, right? Like, you cannot be mild-mannered. So, again, it's his first outing in the world. Really, it's his first outing. Bank of Canada, Bank of England would not have had meetings like this and things like this with foreign dignitaries on foreign soil where it's a contentious issue. So I'm going to give him a pass this time, and maybe he'll be better next time. Now, this is the last point I'm going to bring up. He was really relaxed. He was really, really relaxed. And that relaxed Trump. Now, this can go one of 2 ways, in my opinion. One, Trump was feeding off of his vibe, and that's why it was different than when he was with Macron or Rutte, because he was feeding off of their vibe. They're nervous, so I'm going to be bullying. So Carney may have put him at ease by showing up and being like, hey bro, it's Mark, right? And we the people, we don't know this. But the other side of the coin, and again, tell me in the comments, which side of the coin do you think fits? Because I think it could go either way. Is that they both have billionaires in their back pockets, and they are making the billionaires happy. And so, is that why they were both at ease? I don't know. And this, again, being Carney's first foray as PM that we've seen him in with a contentious leader. This is not like meeting with Macron, where it's like, hey bro, or Steimer, no. This is like serious, this guy wants to take over our country. So we'll see going forward how Carney reacts to other leaders. And we'll see if he may very well put them at ease. I've heard from a couple of people that he is a really nice guy who puts people at ease. I do not like his politics. I don't care how nice of a guy you are. But we're going to have to watch the next interaction with Trump with him, because it was weird today. Trump was weird. Trump was subdued. And we'll find out in short enough order. Have a wonderful Tuesday, and I'll be back on Friday.